Okay. Okay, so we're live on YouTube and we're recording the session as well. And if you're just joining the conversation, this is Picking It, and this is the first session for this year. And like I said, my community, we're having another session presently and about NFTs, and most people are there present. So the time actually clashed. But yes, since we're recording and it's live on YouTube, they can always rewatch and be part of whatever we're going to be doing here. So I don't know if my guest is on the call. I'd like to confirm if he's on the call. Good evening, Mr. Jerry.
Yeah, hello. Sorry, I was on mute.
Hi, good evening. Happy New Year from this side.
Happy New Year, all on the same side. Now, which all of us dinner.
Oh, it's so nice to have you on the call today. Like, just so nice. It wasn't easy getting you on the call, and I'm excited that it's being recorded so that, yes, we'll keep it to the stand of time that I had Mr. Jerry on the call as my first guest for Picking It in 2022. So thank you very much for being on the call.
Thank God, though.
Okay,
Actually, I'm very excited to be here.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So let us go straight to what happened today. I usually don't like taking a long time. I just always keep to time. So like I was saying earlier, most of our community members that in the Telegram group, there's a NFT session that is going on now. I know the buzz all over NFT. Everybody wants to know what NFTs are, the new minting money stuff. But still, this part of our community is still very important. Like positioning yourself, even how do you even position yourself to know the right NFTs to buy or how to make money through the NFTs? There's so many questions that people keep asking. So, but today, normally, Pick and It is an entertainment. We get to talk about the life of our guests. For people that just came into the space, they have to learn from it. And I'll tell you, most people that always attend Pick and It, they come back and tell me this guest story actually inspired me. Actually made me not to be scared of crypto. It made me understand that crypto is not a scam. And I usually get a lot of amazing feedbacks. And those feedbacks actually keep us going. Like, it's exciting to get all those feedbacks. So today you just introduce yourself. Let's get to know you before we know more.
Thank you very much. My name is Jerry Kai. I am a Nigerian, obviously. And I'm into crypto and I work for several companies. Some you might know, and some a little bit more niche in their own way. I don't really consider myself. I kind of do consider myself like an OG. Well, I'm sure a lot of people agree that being in the space as long as I have, I've earned that title in that regard. So it's that is basically what I do. There's nothing
Okay, so coming back to the point where I said consider yourself an OG. It's not a consideration, you're an OG. So can we just know about your crypto story? Like, how did you get to know about crypto? And why did you stay back? Because I know a lot of people that started crypto at some point and they couldn't stay. They had to leave the space because they couldn't bear it. So just give us your crypto story and what was your A game, why you stayed back in crypto space.
So I got into crypto, I think, late towards the end of 2016, I think. September, during the Ember months. So they are OGs. So I got into the space, Nigerian wise, I'm an OG. So I got into the space towards the end of the Ember months in 2016. And like most people, I was lured in by via Ponzi. I wasn't very smart. So I got into it by Ponzi scheme. I think it was Larabot, thereabouts. My friend's mom, then she actually gave us a loan. I can't remember how much. I think it was 1.5 million thereabout. Then very lucky we were. at the time. So she gave us a loan and we actually bought Bitcoin to invest into Larabots. And 2 days later, Larabots crashed. So you can imagine how sad I was. I was thinking I want to be a millionaire in a week and it crashed. So yeah, that part came. Then one thing about, Bitcoin and crypto in general is that you only get to learn more once you have the assets. Once you've dived in the first time, you just actually get curious to actually know what is this you're holding. And Bitcoin being a vehicle for most, Ponzi schemes at the time, actually enabled lots of people to get into crypto. So then I learned about Bitcoin. I started learning what is this Bitcoin I am holding, blockchain and all of that terminology that was, doing my head in. And I was very confusing period for me. So actually, learning, deep diving. And 2017, I actually got into crypto more, started learning more about crypto, made a few investments here and there. And I was just fresh out of school. I was leaving university then. So I was, at that point in your life, when you're crossroads, you don't know what you do. You're thinking about, what's next for me now, I see, all of that. Then crypto, just became an outlet for me. And I think that year I made about $43,000. And you can imagine how pumped I was, making that huge sum of money. I was also how old, not sure, at least I was very young. I was thinking, wow, I'm going to chill with the big boys now. I'm going to bam bam. And yeah, so then the crash happened. I lost 80% of the money. It was, pretty sad at the time. We were 3 of us, as friends that we were doing this. My colleague is in the US now, the other one. And 3 of us were actually, we drew these resources together to actually make that money. And the whole thing fell apart. Obviously, we were very devastated. But during that 2017 period, when I got into Bitcoin, that was when I started mingling with people in the space, being from Nigeria and having the kind of knowledge I had about crypto, because I actually started learning I became more knowledgeable about crypto than most people in the space. I was the top 1% of people actually understood Bitcoin, not just in the theoretical aspect, but also technically. I understood that was during the Bitcoin fork, and everybody was saying, what will I do with my Bitcoin? Bitcoin is dropping, and what will I do to safeguard my Bitcoin during the hard fork? I was the go-to guy then. So I already made lots of friends, connections in the space. I know lots of the people in crypto who are big, Adam Back, all these big crypto personalities, people who work in Blockstream, all of that. I started having connections with them so that it was very eye-opening for me, because they were very receptive. That kind of Bitcoin crypto Twitter was a very niche part of Twitter then. It wasn't it's not like now where there's NFTs here, buzzword. It was very a very, 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 very small country and very small sphere on its own. So everybody knew everybody, everybody was interacting with everybody. So it wasn't very difficult for me to start understanding more and learning and making connections in the space. Then when I lost most of my funds in 2017, I was like, oh shit, what will I do now? Then like you said, lots of people don't have the perseverance to stay. Then one of my friends just said, just focus on his life and do other things. He's actually quite doing very well where he is now. So I'm just saying that not most people wouldn't stay. So me, I just started to chug on. Then I started learning more about the space going into 2018, the beginning of the bear market. Due to my knowledge I had at the time, like I said, I was more knowledgeable than most people. Lots of opportunities started opening for me, on the business side, of things, on the job side. People started offering me jobs and things like that. So my first job then was working with CoinDaily in 2018. Aside trading, obviously, I started working, crypto. Then I started working with CoinDaily, and like I said, the person that gave me the CoinDaily job was a friend I met I haven't actually met this guy at the time. He's in Spain. He's one of these OGs that got into Bitcoin 2012, 2011, thereabout. So he, said would I like to come work for him? I said, okay, cool. Then we got into he made me start writing articles for CoinDaily then. He was paying me a very decent sum at the time. I'm like, wow, earning in dollars. This is actually very I'm proud of myself. Then, then along the line, he launched another project and he wanted me to obviously play a bigger role. Then like that, then guys from, lots of big guys in crypto started, getting me involved in lots of projects, doing several, things. Then, that was the ice, although it was we were in the bear market, we were literally in the trenches then of crypto, but I was actually making, good to decent sum of money at the time. Yeah. So then ever since then, it's been like smooth sailing,
Wow,
at
I
least.
never knew you had an experience to writing content. So most people in this space, they just want to just come into crypto, start trading, just make money overnight, buy Benz the next day, and all. Wow. Like this is the first time I'm hearing this from you, and so encouraging and exciting actually to hear that. And I wanted to ask if you've ever lost funds in crypto, but wow, you saying you lost about $45,000 how many years ago? That was a very, very huge sum of money. And that can
Yeah.
actually not want to venture into crypto anymore. So if you're
Yeah,
on the
lots of people fell off.
not lost $45,000 in crypto, you've not started. I wanted to post that on my status today. I wanted to say if you've not lost money in crypto, you've not started. There's a lot of money in crypto actually, but you need to understand how things are done and how you can position yourself. So if you are to advise people that just want to come into the space and just make money overnight and just start reaping, so what would you say to them?
There's something I usually tell people. I don't really know how to advise people.
Okay.
I don't like advising people, basically. I don't care, do whatever the hell you want instead.
Yeah.
But what I usually tell people is I don't like aspire to perspire stories because they can be very misleading. Aspire to Maguire, you start today, you'll be rich tomorrow, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I usually like to use myself as a case study, not because, if you follow my path, it's guaranteed now you're going to hammer or you're going to blow or stuff like that. What I usually tell them is this. I say, if there are two things, like all you need to do is it's time. All you need is time and patience, or really time and focus. If you have time and focus, there is a 90% chance you're going to smash it in this space. You're going to actually become, if not, crazy rich, but you're going to, make a very decent something out of it.
Yeah.
Like all you need is focus and time. Crypto moves very fast. Like it's like theory of relativity physics. Time moves faster in crypto. I'm not really sure how that happens or why it happens, but things generally tend to move fast, maybe because of the insane volatility that actually messes with our perception of time. So if you actually devote a decent amount of time to actually gaining knowledge, and you give yourself time to actually apply what you've learned, yeah, you are going to make money. I use myself as a case study. There was a time I was just making $200 a month. $200 an hour for me is like something I make an hour or 30 minutes, or it's all about giving yourself time to learn and absorb all the industry has to offer. It makes, like, for most people to jump from maybe 100K to 500K in regular industries or jobs, it might take you 5 to 6, 7, 8 years. You get, but in crypto you can do that in let's say 6, 7, 8 months, 9 months, in a year, if you're actually very focused on actually what you're doing. And you give yourself time, learn as much as you can. You keep learning. There are many, just unlike then, most people have it very good right now. Before, learning about crypto then was you make lots of mistakes along the way, because there was actually people, there were nobody to actually help you. There were not YouTube crypto resources. There were nothing. There were no free resources. Right now, people have lots of free resources they can learn from on YouTube. Mentors like Chris Arney and all those people. But then all we had were scammers and Ponzi schemes.
Yeah, Dr. Chris did something like that. You say when they started, there was no questions and answer, like past questions.
you learn along the way. there was like everything you had to learn, you had to learn with experience. Now you have people say like, no, do not put your money there. It's obviously a Ponzi scheme. Or no, this is actually wrong way to actually trade. Or no, this is the wrong token to buy. Then everything was the right token to buy, even if it was going to zero. So now you should give yourself, especially you should try to afford yourself the luxury of time. Learn as much as you can. If you learn, that is the focus part. If you learn and give yourself time, there's every chance to make it. Let me tell you why. Because even as it is right now, the industry is still quite early. There is lots of room to grow. Like we've barely scratched the surface. There's lots of room to go, lots of things to do. Like it's still very early. And for instance, how do I put it? For instance, we're trying to hire somebody to come work out for us at Big C. And we were kept looking for somebody for over a year, and we didn't actually see. We're having people, doctors, PhD holders coming to applying for the same job. But all we needed was having relevant crypto knowledge. That was basically all we needed. I've never used my degree in school to apply for any crypto job anywhere. Usually, in fact, I've never actually applied. People just call me up and say, hey, these people say they would like you to come and work for us. That is basically how it is for me. So nobody said, I want you to submit your, 10 years experience, whatever, and all of that. But no, they don't ask that. But it's very good for you to have understanding of the space. And all this understanding can just be earned or be garnered by just being in crypto. Once you're there, you're hearing words here, hearing terminologies here, following this person here, and you're just following the conversation that's happening in most places. You are just you're just imparting yourself with knowledge. That is basically all it takes. We learn about NFTs. You look up YouTube. What are NFTs? Blah blah blah. You see one or two conversations happening on Twitter, and Twitter was very very important for me because like all the important things were happening on crypto Twitter, and I learned a lot. And coming back to locally in Africa here, having to interact with Chikres and all of these people, like there was obvious free flowing of knowledge, sinking, and that's just it. So like I said, give yourself time and just focus. Don't be distracted by all this noise, airdrops. There. Focus on learning. I know people say airdrops. That was like no. Please, like
airdrops a lot of money from airdrops.
Like here's the thing about airdrops. Airdrops is like airdrops are like lotteries. People like focusing. People think too much about what am I going to. I want to make money immediately, and that is where they get distracted. They do not. They pursue airdrops to the detriment of their own knowledge. They pursue airdrops so much, you just forget about everything. But no, you have to go for the knowledge. You have to know as much as you can. Like as much as your brain allows you to, you have to learn about trading, learn about crypto itself, because they would help you make the smart investments that if you pursue airdrops, like if you pursue, let's say, 200 airdrops, there's a very high chance that all 200 of them will be useless. That you can't even sell them. That is how what I'm saying is true. Like you look at tokens that you had you just got for free, probably sometime in 2018, 2019. And how many can you sell today? Almost, very few of them. So people people love to talk about winners. Uni airdrop made me, certain amount. There's a look, swear airdrop. But you forget about the thousands of airdrops that basically do nothing. And sometimes in very bad cases, they actually use them to get into your wallet and steal your crypto. So
yes, they still do it till now. Like they can hack into your wallet and take all your.
Yeah. So if you channel your focus to the right places and not be so like money is good, but the money will come faster the quicker you learn more about the space. The more people are looking for you to employ you. The more you know, the more you make smarter investments. The more you know, the more you are more conservative with your asset, resource allocation towards the kind of in cryptos you invest in, and that makes you, and that is a very very good asset to have as a person in crypto. You're not just chasing airdrops for that. Airdrops are good, but it's not what you need when you're just coming into the space.
Yeah. Wow. Just listening to you for just this minute, like I just feel I'm so full already, seriously. Because most times people come into the space and they lack patience. They don't want to give themselves time. And yes, chasing all this stuff makes you lose focus. Because when you're chasing the job, it's actually very stressful. I don't do it because I've not done it. I did it the first time, and I'm like, it's stressful. Don't tell me to like Telegram, do this one, do that one, send to some people to join. It's very stressful. But anybody that has strength to do it can actually do it. So back to what we're talking about. So I just want to deviate a little. I know there are various, like you just said now, your company was looking for someone to employ and all that. Now, how do I know crypto, I understand crypto. How do I create a niche? Like, I know your niche, you do everything. You do a lot of things in this space, yeah? Somebody can actually be a jack of all trades by knowing a lot. But how do I create a niche? How do I just say, okay, this is what I want to do? And also, this is going to be a very long one. How do I get jobs in this space? I know networking and connection is very important. What if I don't have all those? How do I leverage in this space still?
To be very, very frank with you, if you do not have that network, you're going to have a very hard time getting jobs.
Okay.
Like it's a good thing. It's a very like almost like a must-have. And it's not something that's very difficult. Having connections to the space is actually one of the easiest things to do. But where people actually fall short is, I don't know if it's a Nigerian thing or people get close to you and next now, boss show me love or give me some money, blah blah blah, and instantly anybody wanting to put you in the circle is immediately put off because what the hell is this parasite doing close to me? Yeah, so people do not want that, and picking a niche for yourself. I'm not a jack of all trades. Please, just want to be clear. Please, nobody can actually be a jack of all trades. I just do a lot of things and I do some better than others. That is just the ones I do not do as well are those that I do for myself. The ones I do really well are the ones that other people pay me to do. That is just the way it is. So picking a niche for yourself is basically dependent on you as a person, how available you are, what you're quick to adapt to. You can't ask somebody working in the bank to also come and start doing a crypto job. It's not possible. To work in crypto, you obviously have to have availability of time. Then you also need to see what are your innate qualities. What are innate qualities that you have? What are the things that you find interesting to do, personally? There are people that don't like working for people, and I respect those kinds of people. I don't want to work for anybody. That's fine. You have, going into trading and OTC and pursuing NFTs and all of that out all there for you. It's just dependent on what you see working for you as a person. Do you want to go into crypto? Then you have to leave everything else. You want to go into crypto, looking for a job in crypto, you have to leave everything else and go, because crypto, it's a job full time, and it's actually quite amazing working in crypto full time. So you want to carve a niche for yourself. What do you see working for you? What I saw working for me, obviously, first I started as writing articles. I was very good with that. Then another thing I had connections. That is what lots of companies found valuable. I had connections. Like, oh, I need to do these things. Like, how can we do it? Like, okay, I know this person, I can do that. So wow, thank you. And instantly you're getting a raise or you become very valuable to the company. The knowledge is, like I said, Jesus, I can't really overemphasize. You actually need to have the knowledge, because the knowledge actually determines where you actually see yourself. So if you see yourself as somebody that loves to, you like to read, you like to learn about crypto, honestly, there is no niche for you. You don't have a niche. You just do whatever the hell you want in the space, and it will almost certainly work for you, as long as you put in the work required to actually get it done. If you, for instance, when we try to hire people, say, on what experience do you have with crypto? If you want to hire a marketing director, you have crypto trading experience. If you want to hire somebody, copywriting, do you understand the crypto culture and all of that? All these things just become intertwined and relevant in its own way. Like there's no way that they can hire you. That it's in very few companies where they hire people from other pieces, and lots of companies do not like to hire people from other industries because there's a learning curve. You have to come start learning about crypto and you start starting. So it's like you have to put in some hours for the person before the person start giving back. And lots of companies do not have this luxury of time because the space moves very fast. So if you come in and say, wow, I already know this and this and this and this, like, okay, that is an advantage. And you're already like halfway through the door into the company. So if you feel like I have some money and I don't want to feel like, working, obviously there's trading for you.
Yeah.
There's trading for you. You have the capital. You just need to know where to look. And still, you still need the knowledge, because where the hell are you going to put your money? Do I say I have money now? I'm just going to buy some, random shit coins. I don't know what the hell they are, but I'm just going to buy them because I have money. Obviously, you have to seek knowledge. Like, that is very, very important. Like, you have to actually go and say, I'm learning about learn about this asset, NFTs, what are these? Okay. Then you start breaking down your thesis. You start looking here, okay, start narrowing down your search to 1 or 2, 3 assets you want to invest in. And that is where the knowledge comes in. So this, no matter the niche you want to carve yourself, no matter where you want to play the industry, you actually need the knowledge. It's very important. Gather as much of it as you can. If you want to go into OTC, obviously you need the knowledge. You need to deal with the players who have been there before. OTC is basically I have little time, or I have money, I have capital to start, and I have time. That is when I was okay, you might consider going to OTC or full-time, trading, day trading. But if you don't have time, you have money, you can buy and hold, but you still need knowledge. But if you have time, you have lots of things, you feel like you have time, especially for those who are fresh out of school or still in school. I just suggest you go out there, learn as much as you can. Then there are lots of jobs, like you can't even imagine. People are getting hired every day. Like every day, our company is putting out ads for people, come and work for crypto, come and work in crypto, come and work for crypto, not just as a developer. Then there's also the developer side of things. That if you're into that, but it's really niche, because not everybody can do software. But if you can, I suggest that if you already into computer science and computer engineering, I suggest that you try to look into blockchain development. They pay the highest, and they're the most in-demand people in crypto or anywhere else in the world. But in crypto, they are I think they collect the highest, I think $770,000.
Yeah, they
annually.
do.
So they are the most in demand. So there are lots of ways you can play it. And the end result is always the same. If you give yourself time and you focus.
Yeah, that's true.
If you give yourself time and focus, and the sky can only be your limit. I hope that answers your question.
Yes. It's been an inspiring session. If you have your questions for Mr. Jerry, just drop them on the chat box. And if you're just joining the conversation, this is Pick a Niche powered by GrindEarn. And yes, it's our first session for the year. And it's being streamed live on YouTube. In case anybody misses it, we'll have to watch it, because we're having another session presently on our Telegram group. So I've learned a lot just listening to you, and I'm actually very, very, very inspired just listening to you. So I had this question already for you. Now, what were the mistakes you made on your way as a crypto person? Like, what are the things you did that you won't do them again? For instance, I know some people that they'll say, okay, I traded futures and I lost so amount of money. I did a margin and I lost so amount of money. I'm not going to do it again. So what was your experience like mistakes that you will not want to make again?
Don't be led by false messiahs. That's one.
Don't be led by
false messiahs.
False messiah. Okay, I think we need some explanations to that.
Follow me. I know everything about crypto, just listen to me. Even if what I tell you is going to
I understand.
Make you lose all your money. There are tons of fakes in the space, especially the ones that come they'll come maybe on Twitter or Facebook, like, hey, look at me, I made $2 million in seconds. I do not want to mention names, but they are just some very obvious corporates. You should be very wary and ask, you allow your brain to people recognize red flags in their head, and your brain tells you this thing is very fishy. Do not ignore your brain, because the person's telling you I know you think it's a scam, but it's not a scam. Look, I have 10 cars. It doesn't work like that. The internet can be very fickle. If your brain is telling you something, do the investigations yourself. Ask questions. Does this actually make sense? This person is making. Don't let people trip you into not asking questions, because they feel you're they dare the door, go come make money, blah blah blah. You know, I made that mistakes where, I outsourced my thinking to people, even when I had the capabilities to think for myself, like no, like let me be a zombie and follow this person.
Yeah.
You can actually, follow, like what I tell people who follow me is this. People come to me like say boss. I say, don't call me boss, don't call me boss man or my all this, origami, stuff like that. And I tell them this because if you do that, if you continue to become a sycophant in that way, you would outsource your thinking to me, and you're not going to be a person on your own. I only want people to follow me based on like they admire my person, not from like idolizing me.
Them, yeah.
Yeah, in the idolatry in a kind of way. Admire me for my person. If you think like I'm inspiring you, that's cool. Like we can actually hang. Like if I find you as a person cool too, we can actually flow. We don't need to have this master servant relationship. And that is what lots of people do. They take advantage of people's power of them and turn them into zombies. You should always try to teach people critical thinking. Don't try to think for people. Let you give them the information. Let them make decisions for themselves. That was one of the mistakes that I made. If you go to YouTube, like, oh, Bitcoin is going to like this or this guy. Unfortunately, like, what's his name? The Diary of Midman, I am Balina. Like, oh, I have this spreadsheet, buy all these coins. Meanwhile, he was being paid to shield those coins. And you just buy them and he will dump on you. Yeah, it was supposed to be scandal then. You get, when you talk to him like, I told you, not financial advice, but you were actively shooting these coins like you were, buying them. But meanwhile,
lose.
yeah, you actually, encourage people to buy them. And that is the mistake people made. You need to understand that people work with incentives. People are paid to do certain things in crypto because crypto moves with hype. So do not be carried away, by, like I trust this guy. No. Do your own research. That's why I say do not be led by false messiahs. Another thing is, it's not carried away by, trends. The market is moving in direction. I got to move with it fast. Market moving direction. I got to move with it fast. That is why I say knowledge is very important. Yeah. What you're doing is the market is leading you, which is not. If the market leads you, you are obviously going to hell in the market sense. Like you're finished. But you need to, as a trader, someone who wants trying to make money out of it, you have to observe the market trend, see where the market is heading to. I often fall into this trap, because they often say do not let your emotions blah blah blah. But we are human beings, our money. True. The Bible says, I don't know if it's the Bible, but it says, where your treasure is, where your heart is. So once you see your money going like this and like this, you see yourself moving and following in that direction, like swaying you, blah blah blah. So it takes lots of composure and experience to actually sit back and say, wait, I'll just wait and see how all this plays out. Or you can anticipate the market and you are part of the trend. You didn't jump on the trend. There's a difference between being part of the trend and jumping on the trend. You could be there before the market start moving, and you could make your decision. You already made your decision where you're shorting or you're longing or you're buying early or you're selling at the top. All these things can be premeditated. For instance, I got into Solana when Solana was $3. Why did I get into Solana? Yes, I got into Solana when Solana was $3. Chris Arney already told people that he got into AXS when AXS was $1. You see, I got into Solana when Solana was $3. Why did I get into Solana? Because it was SPF. I already knew SBF from his time at Alameda. At Alameda, Alameda became like the biggest security company. Alameda then we're making like $1 to $20 million in profit. By doing kimchi premiums. Yeah, $1 to $20 million in profit by doing kimchi premiums between US and Korean exchanges. Because on US exchanges, that is why knowledge is important. On Korean on US exchange, regular exchanges, Bitcoin might be $20,000, and on Korea exchanges is $21,000. That's what they call kimchi premium. They arbitrage and take advantage of the price difference and make that extra $1,000 on each Bitcoin they sell. If they transfer $1 million, that's like if they transfer $20 million, they're making like $2 million a day, and like that. So you can see, and I already knew this guy. Alameda Research was like one of the biggest liquidity providers in the space, and they already launched FTX. I'm like, look, Almeida, this SPF is the guy. You can see the thing. He has a very massive track record. The guy is, the guy is too smart, and he's launched. He's jumped on lots of successful projects. I think there is no way that a project he will launch will not become successful. So that is one of the reasons I got into Solana early. You see, I didn't jump on a trend. I was there before the trend started. So I got into Solana at $3, and I was selling on the way up. Then eventually sold most of my stash at 210. Now, this is just me. I know one of my friends in Spain, he's been the guy I told you was an OG from 2012, 2011.
Yeah.
He bought at about 3,000 Solana, like 3,000 or 4,000 sold at 10 cents or so. I also got into FTT very early because FTT was obviously, going to blow. Like it's backed by FTX. It's the native token of FTX exchange. It's like getting into BNB early.
BNB, yeah.
That was like, you could not see this guy and not back his project. So this is how I base my investment decisions. Like I did not jump on a trend. Even when it was going like this, and people were probably jumping to FTX when it hit.
You are already in profit. So no matter how it dumps, you cannot be in loss. Like it's almost impossible for you to be in loss. I was telling someone that's today that if you jump in, like if you get a token when it's very early, and for instance, like Solana that I just talked about, before Solana will dump to where you bought it, it's almost impossible. So it's just like you cannot be in loss. It's not just possible for you to be in a loss.
Exactly. And what that does for me is that you don't see me, in a hurry making, I need to sell, I don't need to sell. I'm always relaxed with my investment. So that was what it did for me at the time. Same for several other assets. I also jumped on Luna where Luna was $7. And thanks to, my guy, Mr. Obi Bona, he actually brought our thoughts in the Cryptos Africa group. I was like, I should probably, take a look. And I was, sold. I went in deep and I made like, I think I got him into $7 and it topped at $100. So there are several other assets like that where, you make investments early and you're actually, quite relaxed because you're not scrambling to sell because you're like, you can make, once your investment is not at risk, you see yourself making much more logical decisions. But once you see like you've gotten at $50 and it's at $52, it's at $47 and $45, like this is going down. Maybe I should just sell now at $52. So you're not thinking straight. You will not have give yourself the patience because you feel like I've already seen profit. Let me just go now and run. So you see. So these are some of the mistakes I made, and I learned. I was learning from Bitcoin. Hodl every time I actually taught myself to actually hodl. So so do not be led by false desires. Do your research. Don't let yourself become a sheep.
Wow, this is something that everybody needs to know. Wow, I'm just in this kind of situation now where I'm in a situation where I know that the assets I have presently, they are real valuable assets. And yes, I actually didn't jump on a trend, but I know what I need is just time. Because that's what most crypto assets need. They just need time. But newbie doesn't understand that you have to give this time. They want in 3 months' time, they should be in profit, or in a month. Now that there's dip, they're wondering how do I survive? How do I because presently some people's all-time high will be they bought at all-time high and they don't know when next that token they bought will get back to that all-time high again. So it's actually something that a little bit challenging for most new people in the space because they where they felt was the dip was actually an all-time high, and they're yet to recover. Even after 3 months, those tokens are yet to recover presently.
Here's what I tell people regarding that. Like, if you buy 10 assets today, the goal of buying those 10 assets is you're not expecting all of them. Expecting all of them to actually meet your expectations is very naive.
Yeah.
The goal when trading or investing is, if you're investing in 10 assets, always make sure that 6 of them, or only make sure that you come out in profit, in net profit. Because you can buy you can buy 10 assets, each of them, do 10, 20, 10, 20, like that. And one of those useless assets does 2 minus 80%.
Yeah,
You
that's
might
true.
find out that your net profit at the end of the day might just be 10% or 15%. But it doesn't matter. That should be the goal. You're not there to lose money. You get that should be the goal at the end of the day. If you're expecting all your, like I have assets today that I bought that I will not tell you that I'm telling you the ones that are successful, that there are still some of them that are sort of gone to shit, that they are not, as far as I'm concerned, they do not exist to me anymore. But yeah, I'm just expecting maybe one day, dry bones might rise again, blah blah blah, and it actually surprised me. But the ones that really performed, they performed really well, and at the end of the day, I came out, in net, profit. That should be the goal. So, like you said, give yourself time, and some might not do well, but like I said, that's why you need the knowledge, so that you make smart investment decisions. Like you make the best call from the knowledge available to you. Like you did the absolute best, doing your due diligence and all of that, and you make your investment. Like that way, you are minimizing your chances of failure, because from an investment perspective, nothing. You are not expecting no results. What actually is, look, I'm going into this project. Things can go wrong, but I don't expect things to go wrong, because like this guy is a CEO. He has incredible background. They are working with this project. They are working with this security provider. Then they are backed by these people. So chances of things going wrong. What I'm giving you now is, like I said, I work for a VC firm as a research associate. And these are the kind of indicators I use when investing in assets. People give me like $500,000, $1 million to actually invest for them as a pool.
Wow.
As a pool. So yeah, like this is one of the secrets in crypto. There are people, they invest as a pool. Meaning as a pool is that they come say, want to give you $250,000 or $500,000. You give us your token at even bigger discounts than what you're giving people on pre-sale. You get, and that way, they'll be like, okay, since you're giving us bulk money, here, take. But before you approach those projects, you make sure that you have done your research. Like they are backed by Almeida, they are backed by 3 Arrows Capital. They are, they have, connections with the biggest boys in the space. Like almost nothing can go wrong. Not nothing can go wrong, but chance of things going wrong are very slim. So
very, very low. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is how you should make your investment. So when you do things like that, you're spreading your bets, and you bet in like 5 projects. 3 of them do well, 4 of them do well, 1 did not do well, may do well later. All 5 of them may do well. So yeah, so that is the kind of mindset you should have going into this, investments.
Okay. Wow. I got you correctly. So it means we should diversify. Don't just buy one project and feel the project is going to do so well, because you might end up being in 80% minus. Okay, so keep your questions coming. We're about to round off. I told you we started at exactly 8 o'clock, and we don't want to keep people waiting. Definitely, the recorded version is going to be on YouTube. If you missed it, you can just rewatch. It was really an amazing session. Like I'm so inspired and filled. I learned a lot in just this 40 minutes, about 50 minutes already. I've learned so much. So if you have any questions, just drop your questions on the chat box, and yes, we'll attend to it. So I just have one very funny question here. This is where patience comes in. Someone said, please, how long do you think I require to be relevant in the space?
Oh, you're laughing. It's not a funny question. It's actually a very good question. What do you mean by relevant? I have to ask that.
Relevant, maybe to be able to get jobs, or maybe to be known and all that.
Basically, she's asking, how soon can I chill with the big boys? Yeah, you can come chill with me right now. If you're in Abuja, you can come around and actually, like I said, things move very fast in this space. It all depends. You see yourself as a very smart person that you can learn things pretty quickly and start absorbing all that knowledge. Like I said, most people want to associate with people of value. It's not everything not about money. It's not people don't expect to come around them and start saying, hey, take 10 BTC or take 5 BTC or all that. No, it's like you come and say, let me use my story as an example. Like I said, I was literally just a regular person. I'm still a regular person, but I was much more regular. I was like there. and I didn't have any money like now. Yeah, so I met this guy who was in Spain, like he was an OG, like he's gone to Bitcoin. The guy is a millionaire. He lives in heaven, in one place, heavenly paradise looking place in Spain. And yeah, it's like he's almost a billionaire. So and we got talking on Twitter, and I was just giving very insightful comments, and we're having very intellectual conversation about crypto and Bitcoin, and we became close. He was the one that offered me for my first job at what's it called, the Coin Daily, and there was nothing monetary attached to it. It was just value for value kind of interaction. And how did I get this knowledge? So many times I learned a lot from him, but I already had something coming. So you have to, if you want to make yourself relevant, you have to, this applies to life in general. You have to actually be, for instance, there was this man, a family friend of ours. He's like one of the board of directors of Heritage Bank, but he's retired now. He's one of the founders of Heritage Bank. And then back then, I was still in school, and he would come around, he would just give me money, and that's how perception he had about me. But all our interactions, I never actually asked him for money. We were just having regular discussions, till I came down and I got into Bitcoin. I was telling bad Bitcoin, I was like, what is this? You're buying scam, rubbish, and all of that. And but we still had because we're always discussing about stock market and other things. He didn't kick me out or cast me aside or never picked my call because I never called him to ask for money. I never say, boss, show me way or all of that. Or
do give away.
Do give away, stuff like that. But we're just having, very, very, valuable conversations. And when crypto started really paying off, when crypto started really paying off, he was actually observing, things that are happening in my life. And one day he just called me. He owns a hedge fund. He said, Jerry, I want to invest in Metaverse.
Wow.
So guys were already call me like this to tell me say want to invest in Metaverse. What's happened? You can imagine that, he said, Jerry, I want to give you money. I want to give you some money to invest. Yeah. I want to invest for my fund. I'm just telling you that for us to get to that level where he could remember me, to say, come, I want to give you money. I also want to show the kind of, that is how you become relevant. Anywhere in crypto, in a circle of friends, by being able to add value, not looking for how to take value. You just add value to yourself. And when you become valuable, people start, like when Binance called me for a job, through my friend Mona, he asked me for that work for Binance the first time. And I want to come to Lagos. I didn't feel like travel to Lagos, but I didn't want to live in Lagos. I almost despise Lagos. I'm sorry, my Lagos people, if you're here, but Lagos is actually a very terrible place to stay. I'm sorry. So I did not want to go to Lagos. Then I recently blockchain info. They said somebody that called me said I should come to work for blockchain. But then I already had like jobs everywhere, and I barely have time to actually even sit down and drink water like this. So I said no, thank you. And other jobs like that. Say I get like on LinkedIn, I get like at least 6 offers every week to come and work. Hey, would you like to be interested? I don't apply. I can't remember the last time I applied for a job. So if you want to become relevant, have value to add, the value shine through, people will recommend you, people will call you, say, hey, I'm not really the kind of guy that likes to go on Twitter because I have thousands of followers, but people who know me know that I'm very, I know what I do. They know they know that I'm good at what I do. They know I'm very highly intelligent when it comes to crypto, and I have lots of connections. How do I put it? Like, I know Justin Son. I know who you call? I'm just using Justin Son because lots of people know him, but there are also people that you do not know that are actually quite big. Jameson Love. I know Samson Mao. Wow. But these are people that how did I know them? How did I come to know them? To Twitter. We didn't say, boss, show me where you're doing, blah, blah, blah. We just, hey, I like what you're saying. I'm getting involved in this conversation. What do you think about Lightning Network? What do you think about Bitcoin? What do you think about side chains? And you have certain discussions, all these interactions are going through. Then you now move these conversations, to Telegram, and you have like close group where you guys banter yourselves, and that's how you become relevant to them. And when once you're in that space, you have opportunities because like with these people, and it's like, how do I put it? You're like in a place where rich people try to interact. For something is happening, you're just benefiting just because you're there.
Yeah.
So if you want to become relevant, give value to yourself, learn as much as you can. It's as regards to crypto, know as much as you can, network as much as you can. If you see the crypto
Very
event, try
important.
to link up. Like how I met Gold. How I met Gold. It was in one OKX event.
OKX event, yes.
Yeah.
And I was Madam Networker, and I came to you, and I was like, okay, I'm good. I just said, and you're like, who is this one? The eye he gave me, first of all, but I didn't lose my confidence. I still sat down. And that was the same day I met GT Crypto. That same day I met you also. So yeah, networking is actually very, very important. And today, it's not easy for me to have the bars on my session for free. I did not pay any money. So thank you very much for that. Okay, it's almost 9:00 and I don't want this to end, but definitely we have to end. It's been an amazing session. I learned a lot. And at some point, even when I want to be like, all my crypto has dumped, but I'm encouraged now. I have hope that they'll recover and I'll make a lot of money very soon. But okay, it's been an amazing session. If you've not joined our WhatsApp group, I think they'll drop the WhatsApp group link so that you can join our WhatsApp community. Some people are saying SLP. This one, two people are talking about SLP. I never liked that coin because the name itself was annoying. Smooth love portion, a bit slow love portion. I don't even know what the name of that coin is. That coin has gone to dust. I don't know which year that coin is going to recover. Okay, so it's been an amazing session. Talking to you was actually amazing. So what's your last words for a newbie that is just on the call and is trying to find his way around? I know you've said a lot of encouraging words: time, patience, value, and also what else did you talk about? Focus, also very important. So what last advice do you have for newbies that are finding it a bit difficult to scale in this space?
Okay. My advice is let me use my own life, because if I give advice, it may not work. So let me just give you my own template. It may not work, but I'm just telling you that it works for lots of people. I came into crypto. I lost money to Ponzi scheme. Through losing money to Ponzi scheme, I decided to dig more. Then in 2017, I made $43,000. I lost $43,000. I had about $200 to $300 left or so. Then I used that money to buy Electroneum ICO. I bought Electroneum ICO. I made about $3,000 or $4,000. From that money, I used it to start trading. Then I started trading. I started having due to all the connections I made in crypto Twitter. I met lots of OGs and lots of stuff, people like that. Then I started working at CoinDaily. Then from CoinDaily in 2018, I got into New Mex Exchange, where obviously they increased my salary as I started working in communications. Then in 2019, I got into some consultation and all of that. And I think they paid me about $25,000. Then I got already started doing. I was still obviously trading. Then doing OTC and buying coins, like I started making lots of money. Then right now I'm making lots and lots of money. So like it's all in stages, and all this. I'm just telling you this. I'm not trying to aspire thing. I'm just telling you that it's very possible. Like these are things that happen that just unfold as your life progresses. Things just begin to happen as you continue to add value to yourself. If you're like all these points at every point in time, I was very focused. I knew that okay, I'm going to get to this milestone. I'm going to get to this milestone. I'm going to get to this milestone. I was just focused. I didn't start thinking about it the monetary terms. I was just doing what I was doing, learning and interacting. Then when opportunities came, it was very easy for me to grab it.
Yeah.
So when I talk about opportunity, people say, I don't have money, I didn't do this. Like opportunities are like this. If they tell you today that Jesus is passing your streets. Like once in a year, Jesus will pass your streets. Jesus will pass your streets. That if you need to be blessed, you just need to come out and see him. But what people don't know, you don't exactly know the day he will come out. So what do? It may be difficult, but if you want to actually catch Jesus on your street, you just have to come out every day and wait to see if you see him. So this is this opportunity to start from people. Some people might come the day after Jesus has passed. Some people might be coming every day, but like a week before Jesus actually comes, they just stop coming because they felt like they were tired.
Yeah.
You understand? Some people are even lucky that the day they actually step out of their house, that is the day Jesus will come. And people say, this person is lucky. Yes, that person might be lucky. But the chances of you being lucky, these kind of people can be liking people in crypto. When they say, I put $100 into Shiba and I made $2 million off. Yeah. But most of the time, it doesn't happen that way. Most of the time, you have to actually slowly build your wealth, which is a very grueling process. So that is exactly how it is. You have to keep on putting in the work. Then once the opportunity comes, it just becomes natural for you to take that opportunity because it's something that you've been working consistently towards. That is how my growth has been. At one point in time, like I said, I was earning $200 a month writing on CoinDaily. But now $200 is something like I just scroll on Jumia and $1,000, is gone. It's just like that now, and it's something like spending money comes natural to me because making money, is the same way. It's just like when you're hanging out with them and people like Chris or Mona or Pilots or guys like that. You just see them seeing Dorime, and $25,000 is gone. It's not like they like spending money, but they can do that because
they cannot
they
make
built
the
that something like that. They can also it just happens. So it's just something that will come naturally to you as you just keep your focus in the space. It will get very frustrating sometimes, and measure your growth not by how much you're making, because that can be very misleading. Because you can get lucky and make you can put $500 somewhere and make $20,000, and you think maybe I've hacked crypto. No, measure your growth in crypto by how much knowledge you are learning, by how much knowledge you garner over a certain period of time. If you ask yourself certain questions today, can I answer them? Do I know? If I ask myself, okay, what is an oracle in blockchain today? Can you actually answer questions like that? That is how you should measure your progress. So that is all the advice. Not advice. That is my wife. I don't advise people.
On its own already. Thank you so much. I can't see the link to Grind Domain on the chat section. Isaac, please help me do that. Thank you everybody for joining the section. Today we talked about positioning yourself in the crypto space. And yes, I learned a whole lot. If you did not learn I learned a whole lot. And it's going to stay in my head for a very long time. Thank you very much, Jerry Bass, Thank you very much, Jerry, for coming on the call today. Thank you, everybody, for joining the call. Do have an amazing night rest and see you next week, Thursday. Okay, just join our group. When you join our group, you can ask any other questions you have. And if you want to follow Jerry on social media, then maybe just drop your social media handle. If you want to, you can drop it so that anybody that wants to reach out to you can be able to reach out to you. So thank everybody.
You could just share my WhatsApp contact, but please do not ask for giveaway because I will just block you.
Boss, do giveaway now. Thank you everybody. Do have an amazing night rest. Good night, everybody. Bye. Bye, Jerry.